Hi, I'm Rob Cosman. We're here at Heartland Forest in Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. Beautiful place. Great facility. It's actually was built specifically for disabled children so that they could come and experience nature. There are, how many kilometers? 6 kilometers, I think, of walking trails out back in the woods that are wheelchair accessible. They have a fishing pond that the kids can, with their wheelchair, can go right up to the edge and fish. And it was a great place for us to hold our workshops where we often have combat wounded veterans that are wheelchair, confined to wheelchairs. But every time we do this, in order to bring our 6 wounded veterans, we have to have 6 civilians who will come as paid participants. They help us cover the bills so that we can host the vets and take care of them. And this is Bruce Lindsay. Bruce is one of our civilians. Bruce, where are you from?
Well, I live in St. Louis, but I'm from Nampa, Idaho.
Nampa, Idaho, and
Yeah.
you live in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And tell me what you do for a living.
I'm a professor of architecture at Washington University in St. Louis.
So did you build some stuff this week?
I did. This is my dovetail. And I've never been called a civilian before.
Oh, you never called a civilian?
No.
Only in this class.
Yeah.
So tell me, how did you find out about a class first?
Well, about 10 years ago, I became interested in woodworking. I long had a passion for designing and making furniture, and I have a metalsmithing background from art school, and I made a lot of furniture over the years in steel and glass, and quite frankly, it was so heavy I got tired of lugging it around, and I thought, well, I could make some things out of wood to be lighter, and so I started to make a few things, and one thing led to another. I suspect my connection to hand tool woodworking is like many others. I started off with a saw and a bench, and became more interested in furthering my skill as a woodworker. One thing I didn't expect was the precision that you can get with hand tools.
Yep.
It really was familiar to me as a metal worker, where I had gained a lot of skill in that medium, so being here and realizing you can have that same precision using hand tools, which is not obvious, was both amazingly rewarding and also a little frustrating. So realizing I got a lot to learn. So
Yeah. Let me have a look at your joint. So we put a little oil on this, Danish oil, to make the joint stand out, but there you see it. And this is your first ever.
First ever, yeah.
Yeah. This is exceptional. I can put that beside mine, and I've done thousands, and have a hard time determining which is which. So good on you.
Well, thank you.
Tell me this: you've been able to come and participate with our wounded veterans. How has that part of the class impacted you?
It's been extraordinary, and it's impacted me in ways that I would have never expected. The stories are incredible, amazing people, of course, and I figured that would be the case, but it got me thinking about some things in my own life that I hadn't thought about in a long time. My grandfather, I've never served in the armed forces, but my grandfather was in Iwo Jima in the Pacific Theater during World War II. I was very close to him, and I visited him in the later years of his life, and you know, he exhibited some behavior that was unfamiliar to me. I didn't spend a lot of time with him, but in spending some time with the amazing people here that have suffered trauma and success, and seen frustration in overcoming some of the things that they've done, and being successful at that, reminded me of my grandfather, and it made me wish that I had known that then when he was still alive, and would have talked to him about some things that he wouldn't talk to me on his own, but definitely it reminded me of him. So.
Good. Now, address the audience, if you would. Every time we do this, we need to find those 6 civilians who are willing to come and, as paid customers, take the class so that we can host the vets. So I need you to do my job for a minute and see if you can convince a few of them for the next time. Tell them why they need to come.
Well, in addition to gaining skill and being coached by an amazing guy and an incredible woodworker, over the last 5 days, the stories have given a depth and a specificity to the experience that is incredible. And I think about that in two ways. One, in the way that the stories carry forward the tradition of a craft. Edward Barnsley and Alan Peters, and the stories of them and how that's passed on, but also the stories of the veterans and how now that's becoming a part of the tradition of woodworking. And I can only imagine that it's going to enrich that tradition. And I was reminded that when we tell stories, specificity is the heart of narrative. And that's when it connects to you, when it's specific and when it's personal. And so if I had any advice to those vets that are thinking that they would like to participate is think about that when you begin to write your 2 paragraphs as part of the application process. And be specific and connect it to the things that you've experienced personally. And I know it will touch a large number of people.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming. I appreciate you being part of it, and you really
really
added
enjoyed it.
to our workshop.
Thank you.
Thank you.